Hello, everyone. Wayne Meteorologist Brian Good on this Monday. I didn't want to do a storm talk or a snow talk today. First thing I wanted to do, as we're live here on social media and on our streaming channels, Roku and Fire Stick, just want to take a moment. First off, make sure everyone is doing okay. Certainly, this is an opportunity where, for those of you that are in the chats at the moment, if there's anything you still need or need help with, these folks that are with us right now that are online watching just as much as you are right now watching the blog here can help you out if you need some help. I'm sure somebody will be able to, if they may live in your county or in your area, if you need help with any debris or any supplies or anything like that, hopefully they can help direct you. As a lot of you know, your areas, your streets, your neighborhoods a lot better than obviously even we do, depending on where you're at into wave country. So I just want to make sure to get that out there. First off, I hope everyone's okay. Secondly, again, use the advantage. Here are these chat rooms on the social media side, again, Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube, and communicate with each other if you need to and reach out. And we'll keep you updated on this. I am going to cover what is ahead this week. We do have two more low pressures coming our way. No, they are not anything like we just went through. In fact, what we just went through, it's in a record-setting list here in our book for a reason. It just doesn't happen very often. So we're not going to be facing that, hopefully, anytime soon, but certainly not in the near future, which is good. But it will still be a couple of systems we'll be monitoring, and I'm going to cover into that all the way into beyond next weekend. I want to begin. I hope you are doing well. Again, I'll try to put up some of your comments as well. Some of you are wanting to just reach out in general to each other, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Lauren. I'll leave your comment there for a moment. She's in Goshen right now, Lauren is. So thank you, Goshen, and thank you, Lauren, as well. Always appreciate that. Good morning from Tina over into New Washington, Indiana. Angela, glad to hear things okay there into around Taylorsville. Let's see. Marianne, we'll be talking about not far from you, actually, Memphis, Indiana, one of the reports we had into Jefferson County, Indiana from this last event. Okay, so again, I'll keep an eye on your comments as they continue to flow in. And again, thank you all for reaching out. I really appreciate it. I'm sure everyone else does as well. All right, let me do a quick recap of some of the events from 3/3/23. And that event itself, and this is mainly for Louisville, but there's a lot that can be applied here. The lowest pressure ever, which, you know, I know that's always hard to explain on television, you know, what that means on barometric pressure. But for those of you who have your home barometers, it can be done in millibars or you can do in inches. Depending on what type you have, but 977 we are going by for millibars for this, and that was the lowest pressure where we always put that big red L on the weather map, the center of a storm. That was the lowest we've ever recorded in Louisville since the records have been kept. And I will say the records are not the greatest going back several decades back. They were missing some years here and there, so I guess technically I can't really say ever, but you get the idea. I think everyone felt it, but not only do you feel it on the body side for aches and pains, but certainly it was the main catalyst in the wind machine. You just can't go from a change in pressure by the minute, as this was, at a rapid pace. That's what you have to deal with a hurricane. That's the reason why hurricanes usually have decent weather before they arrive. That's usually all the video is everyone boarding up their homes, talking about, it's coming. They already write the name of the storm on the board itself on the side of the building. The storm hits, it's awful, crazy wind, and then right after it, it's usually back to sunny again. Usually sunny, hot, humid, stagnant, nearly zero wind. That's typically the experience for those that have been through hurricanes. That's what it's like. That's what my experience was living on the coast. So it's that pressure that's actually relatively high to start with. You crash it and then you push it right back up again, and that's what led to the major event on the wind side. So the pressure again is the leader of what all of this led to. But the effect, the wind part of it, strongest wind gusts since 1974. The April 3rd tornado at 79 miles per hour. We'll look at the whole list in a moment, but 79 miles per hour. We were already on the list earlier that week on Monday at 64 miles per hour, but we climbed in a big way there at 79. Again, hurricane force is 74. It was the third largest power event behind the ice storm and the leftovers of Hurricane Ike. Now, that's a power standpoint from LG&E and KU across the state. Their energy efforts. That's how they are comparing it, is the third largest power event. However, on the wind side, the wind was stronger than Ike for the meteorological side of this in comparison. So it beat out Ike on the wind side, but as far as widespread power outage coverage and the significance it had on the power grid, that was the third largest. Splitting hairs at this point, it was up there, right? And this was kind of lost sort of into the headlines. I mean, we started off with such a mess with the flooding, right? 2.79, a record for that date. I think I had 2.89 at my house. And there's a lot of rainfall, but I really think that last item also contributed to a lot of the trees that were uprooted. Many of them that you saw that just toppled over, again, didn't really snap. They were just pushed to the side with a very soggy, wet ground. I don't know if we would have had really, I mean, we would have had tree damage, no doubt, at 79 miles per hour. But I really think the number of trees that fell over, if we didn't have that heavy rain that morning, I'm not sure if that number would have been as high. I really don't. So there you go. That's the whole list of 3-3-23. Here are the peak winds. Again, 79 at Ali International, Bowman Field, right up there as well. Breckenridge County, 75. A lot of you had strong winds on both sides of the river. So because you don't see your town listed, it's because we just don't have enough room to fit everybody here. But these were some of the higher ones that we did have recorded in the area. And with that ranking, again, when you look at the wind gust of 64 or higher since 1970, that's when a lot of the records are being kept. They're in that particular sensor that was installed at Ali International. They're going in order of year of occurrence, not ranking of intensity. And so I hope you understand when you look at that. The first time we had a wind gust that hit the airport was only a year after it was installed in 1971. It was at 84. We did it again in 74, of course, in the tornado. And then we had a 78 in 1987, but nothing like our 1979 until we just had. So that 79 miles per hour. So that now is the third highest there on the list. Pretty remarkable indeed. And tornado, yes, we had that confirmed yesterday. EF1, this is going to be in, let me back the map up just a second. This is in Jefferson County, Indiana, just east of Lexington and Scott County. That's where the EF1 touchdown took place. And I did see a lot of you talking about that area from Lexington around Hanover. After the storm had hit, that's something that we'll be looking more at today, more on the actual path. We'll have that for you coming up later, newscast. But again, that was the only tornado that I'm aware of that officially got declared. Everything else was straight line wind damage. All right, so where do we stand on power outages? Still a lot of it is over Kentucky, more so in Indiana. Louisville still stands at 35,000 customers without power. That's 9% of the county. Down into Nelson County, 12% of the county is out of power. Down into Hardin County, 5%. These numbers are up. There's no doubt they've improved, certainly compared to Friday, but I know it's taken some time. In fact, we've been watching the crews at the fairgrounds themselves. They just started another shift. They're going in, I believe it's 16-hour shifts. So at times you'll see some of the trucks that will be parked. That's them resting in their hotels. They need some rest, guys. They need some rest. And then they're going to get right back out there again, rotating the shifts out. So the morning roll happened about an hour ago. They all rolled out at one time. There's even one or two that are still either coming in or rolling back out. So they are out there and trying to get everything safely back. It's like putting a puzzle back together, though. You got to take some time doing that for their safety and ours too, right? All right, so where do we stand for the rest of the day? Well, it is going to be another very warm setup for today. We are talking about record high potential. Yes, it will come with wind. No, it will not be as high as 79 miles per hour at all. But it will be gusty enough that if you have any tree limbs that if you look outside and they're barely hanging on, they look like they're loose, this could be just enough of a light wind here today to kind of shake them free. So just kind of keep an eye on that, pay attention. Anytime you have a high wind event and you get into a calm stretch of weather and then you try to ramp the wind back up again, any issues that were just barely hanging on before suddenly show up. So just pay extra attention today as the little gust of wind here is going to not only affect that idea, loosen up some of the limbs that are already broken, but it may also slow some of the crews down a bit on trying to get some of the restoration done to be extra safe with that stronger wind. So just be mindful of that. Again, nothing to advisory level or anything like that, but it will be a noticeable gust as we warm up. It's easy to get to the record today. I believe the record is 76. Easy to get that as we get into this afternoon. We're going to climb fast. Once again, we're going to see enough dry air to move that thermometer up quickly throughout the day. Now, there is a little rain with this front, not much. Air is really dry. The front's right here. It is going to slide eastbound right across Indiana and Ohio to where the front should push through, I would say, southern Indiana and near Louisville about, well, less than 11 hours from now. It'll move in. It could provide for maybe a brief sprinkle for those of you north of the Ohio River. Again, moisture is really limited here with this system, but it wouldn't surprise me if you do see a little bit of rain passing by. Otherwise, that's when the wind really will get more to the gustier sides when it gets a little closer to us. And then we chill out tonight. It will get colder, all right? In fact, cloudy skies early tomorrow, temperatures into the 40s. It'll be a little breezy out to where that wind chill will be around. Yeah, Tuesday is not going to be as nice as today. There's no doubt today is the nicest day of the week. In fact, today is the nicest day of the really entire 10-day, maybe even beyond that. So enjoy today without all the craziness of trying to enjoy nice weather with other weather issues coming into play. So that's good. We get into later this week, there's two low pressures coming our way. One is going to be Wednesday night and Thursday. The other one's going to be over the weekend. This first wave that moves in, there will be just a small overlap here of colder air where there may be some wintry weather that may start at the initiating point of this on your Wednesday. I don't see that right now within wave country. I think this is going to be a very minor issue. We're to that time of year, guys. It has been relatively warm. To get anything significant on wintry weather, it's got to be full on cold in a big, big way. And you've got to have a tremendous amount of cold air aloft and try to get that snowfall rate up there to make it any kind of impact on wintry weather. You don't run into a lot of problems with icing or anything like that once you get into March. It's much more difficult. So this is a minor thing. Not worried about this at all. So let's skip ahead to the next low pressure, which will be moving in as we head into the weekend. Now, this one is one that stood out when I looked at the data this morning. All right, there's your Wednesday, Thursday one. This is the one here for Saturday night into Sunday. This one was originally looking like it wanted to dive in and dig across the entire eastern part of the country with cold air, snow showers, highs in the 30s, and then slowly work its way out of here. Now, the trend over the weekend, and it continues even for this morning, is that the low wants to do the same thing. It wants to drop down, but the problem is this ridging, which is still fairly centered in the Gulf of Mexico area. It senses it right away, and it just doesn't want to dig in our area. It wants to wait and dig more off the eastern seaboard. That will likely force the storm track south enough that we can keep any severe threat south of us, but it may also keep the snow chance just north of us to keep us out of that. So we may just slide in perfectly to be more of a cold rain scenario, perhaps. It's going to be close. You see again how it moved on by and then just dug over here east of this the coastline. So at the moment, we do not have anything that looks overly impressive on snowfall, this kind of a pattern, or overly cold. But colder than normal, yes. I'm talking about highs in the 40s here. There will be a wind chill. There could be some rain and snow mixed in at times, especially Saturday night, early Sunday. But as far as anything significant, I'm not seeing anything right now. But why would I? As I've said before, anything beyond a day 3 this time of year on snowfall, certainly it's just not going to show up. So we'll watch it and we'll just see how it trends together. Personally, I'm ready to get past not only winter. I'm ready to get past spring, and let's just get back into the quiet, hot days of summer for a while. Just some quiet weather. I just want quiet weather at this point. That's how bad it's been. I'm ready for that. All right. Any spammer? I'm so sorry. I didn't catch him in time. You are not helping, spammer. We're in a crisis mode. Okay. Glenda, good morning from Bardstown. No electricity since Friday. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Glenda. A lot of folks have been like that. I've got several neighbors using generators. In my neighborhood right now, it's a sound you kind of just get used to hearing, right? Let's see, Dottie, shout out to all the crews working hard to get us the power back on. Be safe. Yes, big shout out to them. I know people see the trucks are not understanding sometimes, what's the deal with the trucks when we see them in the lot. Why aren't they out there? Again, they have to sleep too at times, guys. I mean, you gotta keep in mind there's a process. But we have a lot of out-of-towners that are here visiting Louisville that are helping with the power grid. So again, the third largest power event to hit the grid in history. That's pretty remarkable. All right, guys, I'm going to end it for there. Again, you can still comment even after I end this. If there's something you want to do to shout out and help anybody out, please feel free to do that. I will have much more on this setup on the little bit of wind here this afternoon. And of course, the latest on these low pressures later this week into the weekend. I'll go through that data as well. And I'll have it for you guys coming up at midday at 11 o'clock. Be safe out there. Take care of each other. And I'll see you soon.